Welcome to Relationship Real Talk, Live the Life's podcast. For over 20 years, we've been dedicated to strengthening marriages and families through relationship education. Our core goals are to reduce the Florida divorce rate by 50% by 2029, to increase the marriage rate, and reduce teen pregnancy and out-of-wedlock births. For more information about us, you can visit us at livethelife.org.
Welcome back, everybody. We are here with another episode of Relationship Real Talk, episode 33 now. Moving on
I'm so
up.
surprised that you keep
New
track
setup.
of all the episodes. I love it.
Got to. Off the top. Today we have a special guest here. We have Bill Harper with us. How you doing, boss man?
I'm good. I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me in here.
No problem. It's an honor to meet you. I know Ashley, y'all have already met.
Yeah, we had a pretty awesome event here about a week ago, and it was a return to glory lunch. So, Bill, would you mind telling us about what you do and why you do it?
Return to Glory Ministries. We're a band of brothers that were transformed by the power of God, by a message that reached deep into our hearts to really wake us up to a passion, to find strength, to how to love well in the face of a battle in this world, you know. Anyway, and so we came together in 2007, 2008, and 2009, incorporated in 2009. We did retreats for many years up to about 2012, 13, and then kind of backed off for a while. We're back in the saddle. We wanted to get in before COVID, and that shut us down.
Yeah.
And so and now here we got April 7th through 10 of this coming year out in Mariana. We're going to do the Return to Glory Boot Camp. Why do we do this? We have been transformed by, it's not the message, it's God working in a very special way that has reached our hearts. Yeah. And we bring this love and bring this strength back to our wives and to our families and to our communities. We've been transformed. How can you not share it?
Yeah.
You know? And that's what we're doing. And why do we do it? Because we've seen it in ourselves. We've seen men light up with this. It's like glue for a band of brothers.
Sure.
We need each other. We need communities of men to do this.
And that's huge. That's important within itself, because I feel like that's something men don't have a lot of.
Right.
And especially with me, I like mentorship. And I feel like especially somebody my age, somebody older, I would love to be guided and just get, just feedback on how to maneuver through life and what they did. And I just feel like that's amazing that y'all are coming together. So what was the main motivation behind it, if you can get into it a little bit?
Well, I describe myself as a man in search of my heart. And my heart became awakened in 2005, 6, 7, 8. And why do I do it? Because I can't keep it a secret. Because I'm driven to do this, to share it. Oh, why do you do this? When you see men weeping in release of their wound, and when you see men waking up and coming alive, when somebody accepts Jesus and you see the real move of the Holy Spirit in their lives, how can you not do that?
Yeah.
We're called to that.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun too.
That's awesome. And kind of just asking the question, so what do you think has been a cause for men to kind of, I don't want to say, I know there's been a call to become the best man you can be. So what do you think have been hindrances to men being the best version of themselves?
Well, I don't want to beat up the church, but the reality is oftentimes that they're taught to be a nice guy, and just to obey the rules. When there is so much more, and it tends to inhibit a man to prevent his masculine strength and passion to come out. And there's a good part of that. A man who will fight for what's good, a man who will stand up to evil,
Definitely.
To awaken him to a cause instead of just being a nice guy. It's really of an energy that you see. I get connected with my heart. That's what it's about,
Yeah.
I've seen so many men come together with this and really awaken to a new life, to a new calling and a new message they've never heard. And that is, give them permission to be men of strength and valor. And we're warriors too, in a way. You know, God was a warrior, Jehovah God warrior. But we've been taught to be nice guys. And there's a place for that, and there's a place where it shouldn't be. And so to give them permission to do that and find their hearts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically a space where men can really just be themselves truly and learn how to be themselves, basically.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
And come together. We need each other. You know, one man's strength carries my weakness. One man's compassion will help me in a season of emptiness and loneliness. And, we need each other. And you can't be the Lone Ranger out there.
Iron sharpens iron.
Right. That's right. So I call it the glue that brings us together. Call it the band of brothers who support each other. You know, I got guys now I can call at 2 a.m. And since the transformation of God working in my life, I don't have to make many of those calls at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Praise God. But a lot of guys can call me too. This retreat is, it's very unusual in that it's not churchy. And I don't mean to put down the church, but honestly, what I'm saying is this is a different sort of thing.
Yeah.
The messages that, and John Eldridge is as an anointed a speaker as I've ever seen, right up there with Billy Graham, right up there with the great prophets who ever brought a message that's receivable. For me, I get his message with like 100% transmission quality. Most men do get it way up there. It's a powerful, and we have fun too. We just don't get in the sessions. We take breaks with paintball. And guy's bringing his helicopter. We're going to have a helicopter ride.
I was just about to ask, what should some men expect in this boot camp? Like, I heard you say sessions. So is it different sessions each day? Like, what's the actual breakdown of the boot camp?
Well, actually, you know, in the real boot camp, we don't tell them what's coming.
It's a mystery.
So, okay.
They overthink
I like it.
They overthink it.
I like it.
We tell them what the next event's going to be, and then we tell them that you're going to get a break for 4 hours this afternoon. We tell the guys who gets to ride on the helicopters, they know they'll do paintball. Blue Springs now has opened up the river, and they have a big pontoon boat to go up this beautiful crystals called Mill Pond Lake River up to the big Blue Springs and snorkeling and everything. So we'll have fun. Honestly, though, to tell you what we do is it's like a submarine mission. We'll start out and prepare to dive. We'll explain his place in the world. It's like a map as you go into a national park or a mall. You are here, and this is the way the big picture is. I've often heard, and John Eldridge wrote, that this season of the world is the battle for the heart, and the world is at war. And the prize has always been the human heart. And so often it gets pushed down or pushed to the side or diminished. We're trying to awaken that. So we talk about our place in the world. We talk about how we hide, the poser. I was the poser. Because I was in the Air Force. I wore a flight suit and silver wings for 28 years. Yeah. And I hid so much of myself behind that image, right? Yeah. The false self. We talk about that, and then we go into the wound. Everybody's got one. Oftentimes at the hand of the father, although not always. I'm unusual. I think I have a bit of a mother wound in there. And then we go into the wound, and then we bring healing to it. Yeah. God has spoken so much to that healing, and there's so much and the compassion, the way the sessions go. We go into the wound, and then application as we come out. We talk about application to your children and application with your wife, and spiritual warfare, which is that's
huge.
That is.
That's huge.
It's part of the battlefield, right?
Yes, sir.
And then take them and launch them out, and where do we go from here? So that's kind of the submarine dive profile.
I love that you actually go over application, because I feel like so many, especially younger men, you're on YouTube trying to find all these how-to men advice videos, and it's just saying, oh, do this, and it's already a warped opinion. But the fact that you're bringing men in, you're letting them be vulnerable, understanding where it's coming from, and actually telling them, okay, now this is how you do it. This is how you move forward. I think that makes a huge difference.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what else is huge. I encourage anybody who wants to attend, come as a band of brothers. Bring your friends. So you come, you take the experience, and then you go home with it as a band of brothers. You know, when they train in the military, they all train as the same team, and they go into combat together as the same team. Right? And that's what we encourage here. And there's a bunch of follow-on programs. There's a bunch of things to keep guys going after it, right? To follow up.
And I want to address something that you said earlier. You talked about the poser and how that's being basically hiding who you really are. So when you're talking to men, what are some things that you found? Why do they feel that need to hide who they really are?
Right out of Genesis, right? When after they ate the apple and God comes and says, "Where are you?" I was afraid because I was naked and I hid. And we've been hiding ever since.
Oh, wow.
And what we do with the false self generally is we build this thing out of our talents, this construct that we hide behind. And, you know, if you go through the Air Force, you become a pilot, man, that's my definition. Wow, you can hide a lot behind that. Everything is cool on the front, but inside I'm full of lust and I'm full of fear. For many years, I defined myself by how good the flight was that day. You know, I did well, I'm great. I screwed something up, I'm terrible. And that's no way to go through life.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right? Because I'm missing the validation from the Father.
Right.
We build a false self out of our strengths, and we hide our weaknesses or our fears behind it. And then we just continue to layer that with everything we've got, whether it be money or whether it be your nice car, or your beautiful wife, or all those strings of initials behind your name and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's to hide the poser, to let it go when you see it, and then realize that you can be yourself, right? Because the main thing is get the validation from God.
Right. That's so important.
And I think that's what's missing, honestly, the validation of God. I know a lot of men, they're trying to just grab at different things, but it's without that validation, you can get pulled in any type of way. So that's good.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's elusive. There's so many messages that come at us in this world today. And quite frankly, the pace of life today is killing us. All the things we have to do, all the things we have to be responsible for. You know, when do we get the quiet time to just absorb and listen? I'm learning to take that. I must do that. I need it like oxygen. I'm in search of my heart. You know what I'm really in search of? Oxygen, nourishment. My life verse is Proverbs 4:23. Guard your heart above all else, for from it flows the wellspring of life. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then I did have something else. So you were talking about the nice guy and how the church calls men to be nice guys. And so for any nice guy that's listening out there, I just kind of want to define what nice guy is versus what you're calling them to, because I think it could be very confusing for someone who's like, wait, I'm a nice guy. I'm not supposed to be a nice guy. So when you say nice guy, can you define what that means and what you're trying to imply with that?
That's a great question, Ashley. And let me see if I can clarify that. My best example would be when a man feels that he has to be so polite in every direction that he's unable to call out evil or wrong when he sees it.
Yeah.
That he's unable to challenge people who need challenging. That he won't make waves when clearly this is a wrong, or it's evil, or it's toxic, or it's hurting another person.
Yeah.
Give you an example. When, let's say you're in the checkout line at a market and you see some man just berating his wife, absolutely just destroying her in public with absolute rudeness. Isn't there something in you that wants to rise up and say, stop it, back down, get back? But we're so polite in this world, we can't do it. That part in you that wants to intervene to defend the hopeless or the helpless who's being thrashed, that's that part of that warrior in spirit in you that needs to be acknowledged. Now, the question is, when do you use it and when don't you?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's just the experiences of life. I'm not saying that being nice is bad.
Right.
I'm saying that when a man's entire image that he's a nice guy and he's prevented from fighting for good, defending the wounded and helpless, or that inhibits him from challenging and just going after wrong and fighting for it. That's what I'm talking about.
So
manners are good. I'm saying manners are very
for
good.
sure.
So basically just stand on your principles and not being afraid to call somebody out on that and to really help somebody outside of yourself, basically. And that's good. It's actually, it was a book, and it's crazy. I can remember something from college, but it was a theory talking about coming into manhood, and really it's Dr. Akbar, I believe. Please don't kill me if you're listening and it's wrong. But he separated manhood into really 3 different phases: maleness, male, and then malehood. And the manhood is actually when you're calling out things that are wrong, standing up for yourself and outside of yourself, not thinking all the way of you, but being able to be that man and stick your chest out. And if you see something wrong, to actually say something to help the community instead of just focusing on self. So it's actually, that's a great that you actually brought that point up.
Well, let's go back to the main character in the story, Jesus. Okay. He was so tender with the woman caught in adultery. He was so forgiving to those that were lost and healed them. But what did he do in the temple when he turned over the tables of the money changers? Was that a nice guy? No.
No, sir.
Okay. When he called out the Pharisees, right, for their hypocrisy. So the image of Jesus, it's just the image we're looking for.
Right.
He was tender when he should be. He was aggressive when he should be. But the whole thing, he was just nothing but holy and wonderful. That's the image we're trying to model. Yeah. It's not easy, is it?
It's not.
But that's the image we go for, the warrior God Jehovah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Well, is there anything else that everybody here and listening should know about this retreat coming up from April 7th to the 10th? I know it's in Marianna, Florida.
Yes.
And they can learn more about it at rtgministries.org.
RTG stands for Return to Glory. Now, here we are on a podcast, and we hope in 5 minutes or 5 hours you can go back and remember it.
Exactly.
Return to Glory, rtgministries.org, O-R-G. And I got a little mnemonic here, opening a reality to God. O-R-G,
like
opening a reality to God. Return to Glory, Ministries, opening a reality to God. So everybody remember that, rtgministries.org, or write it down. You know, I so admire what you and your father are doing here at Live the Life Ministries, building marriages, protecting marriages. That's the glue of our society,
That's the backbone,
which is falling apart. Right? And what I have learned, by the way, my wife said to me recently, I was not a great husband in 2005. And in the last few years, she said, it's all been worth it. It has restored my relationship with my wife, restored my relationship with my children, and restored my relationship with myself, all because the one with God is now the main flow. And so how would a man that comes back from RTG be a better husband? Wow, we talk about that. A man has a question, okay? In other words, what he looks for every day is, do I have what it takes to be strong, to not fail in the face of duress, to come through when needed, to be a winner, and not so much a winner as a trophy, but to succeed in this world? We always have a question. Hang a flight suit and silver wings on yourself. You think you've answered your question. I've got what it takes. That's not what we're talking about. This idea, do I have what it takes? We can, again, the false self wins here. He's got a great job, got a great car, got a wonderful wife, making a lot of money. I got what it takes. But and then he hides behind all these things, right? When you take your question to anything else other than God, you're going to get a false answer, right? I got a flight suit and silver wings. You're cool. I'm a handsome guy here, and I'm cool. You're right. So the question, the one place you cannot take it to for validation is your wife. And how often, I've been in this place, when mom's happy, I'm happy. When mom's not, I'm not. That gets to be a crazy life. Yeah. If I hang my question, that's not saying I don't care for her and protect her and defend her. But if my question or my the thing that makes me be comfortable and to know that I am going to be strong and valiant and everything, I can't get it from another person.
Right.
And especially in the if I give my wife the power to validate me, what have I given her? The power to invalidate me.
Correct.
You know?
Very true.
Even if she doesn't mean to.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so what it looks like what it looks like now is when she's in a bad mood or she's upset about something, or even I've screwed up something and she goes crazy, I'm able to step back and breathe, take account of what I did wrong and learn and don't do it again. Yeah. But it doesn't rip my heart open. It doesn't destroy me to a place where now I'm groveling.
All over the place.
Yeah. Now that's happened before. And I mean, it will often happen, but I'm able to step back and breathe and see what's going on. And I used to, when my wife and I would have a fight, I'd go downstairs to the basement and hide for 3 months, right? Wow. Right? Go to your corner, right?
Your corner, your own little me zone.
No, I might give a little distance. I take a breath. I pray and I re-engage with humility and love and strength, because my question isn't being stomped on. There's a strength I'm bringing to it. With that point, I would say that a man needs to know that he doesn't go to his woman to get his strength, to get the answer to his question. He goes to her to offer it. He brings this masculine heart and strength to his wife, to defend her, to love her, to care for her. He goes to her to offer his strength, not to receive it. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah. It's the question. Just remember, if you give your wife the power to validate you, you've also given her the power to invalidate you. Or anything.
Yeah, that's for literally anything. Well, you have any more?
Did I leave you speechless? What am I saying?
No, a little bit. No, that last one did, because I feel like that gets lost, especially with the whole nice guy. Because I mean, I've had that moment where my putting all of that into my girlfriend's hands, to where it's like, okay, she's not happy now I'm upset, and it was something I had to learn to go through. That's too many emotional shifts to go back and forth. Have a talk about it, adjust, pray, and that's why I'm glad you said that. Take your own little time out, pray, accountability, accept what you did wrong, but then move forward, have that conversation, and then continue to progress.
Exactly. Watch what happens next time. Okay, if you're thinking about this, that, I'm receiving that invalidation straight to my heart, and what's it going to do to me? It's going to rattle. I've learned to step back and say, what am I afraid of? And say, take a moment and pause. What's going on in here? I'm in search of my heart. I'm able to kind of catalog how I'm feeling. I sort out the lie. You're a failure. You don't have what it takes. You're blowing it. That's what we hear. You're blowing it, and go back to the truth that I know about what the validation that I've received. I was made in his image. He's told me this, right? The scriptures are full of how God, you're made in the image of God. Okay. And so I'd step back, do a sort, and the more you do that, the more you say, I've just handed my question to my wife, or to my skills as a pilot, or to my whatever, right? My boss, whatever. You step back and sort that out, and then you re-engage with a balance and a health. It's a learned skill too, but we'll
definitely
introduce that.
That's good. Ashley, you have anything else?
No, I'm good. Yeah.
And you definitely covered everything I wanted to know. Did you want to say any last things?
Yes, I want to say, remember, rtgministries.org, Return to Glory Ministries, .org. What was that? I had it written down. Opening a Reality to God, rtgministries.org. We got a Facebook page. Look for us there. The retreat is going to be a lot of fun, relatively inexpensive too, as retreats go.
And we'll have a link to
we'll link
that
everything.
and also the event registration in the bio of the podcast too.
And that's April 7th through the 10th.
Yes.
April 7th through the 10th.
2022.
2022, definitely specify. April 7th through the 10th, 2022.
It's upcoming. And I want to thank you, what you're doing at Live the Life Ministries. I want to thank you. I'm so thrilled for the partnership that's coming through this.
Yeah.
Because it's the glue that we need as people and families and marriages and relationships. And it's going to bless the children and everything. To come alongside warriors in the fight. It's so rich.
It is. Thanks for listening, everyone. I hope you feel educated, encouraged, and empowered to thrive in whatever relationship you're in. Have a good one.